Good morning, Vietnam. My Zoom thought I was playing music because I was so in tune just there. We are back with episode five,
Six.
six, six or seven. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Um, this is the Jack Off podcast for the NoCo Fantasy Football group chat fantasy league, and it is Thanksgiving Day Eve, and we have a first time league member joining us today, the Gum Munchers and current third place league holder,
Right.
Keegan, the Gum Munchers via Pondo. Keegan, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on. Also, you forgot to put in there two-time champ.
Two-time
I
champ.
should grab my sunglasses from last year since I won last year, but I will. I am the gun munchers, and that's me. So
That's great. Well, we are happy to have you on. Ryan is currently enjoying himself in
Columbia.
Colombia, so he's getting some D&D R&R time. And I've been out the past couple weeks with schedule restraints and other fun stuff. Last week, Ryan had the pleasure of having on Kobe and
Jacob.
Jacob. Jacob totally just sputtered, but so yeah, new guest on this week, and I'm gonna get right into our current play or excuse me, our current standings. Um Right now, I'll just go from the top to the bottom. We have MTV Gibbs staying in at number one. He's on a 6 game win streak, technically. And then we have My Infinity Stones being Big Al at number two. The Gum Munchers at number three. And we're going to get into that 4 game, 8 game losing streak. Don't worry. Don't worry. And then at number four, we have the Bean Pulls. Shout out to the Bean Pulls for clinching a playoff spot this week with a win over yours truly, the Gum Munchers.
Mhm.
And then in five is Jank, Botigo, Heart, Didi. It's not love, it's heart. Okay. Jacob, thank you for correcting Ryan last week. Thank you so much. I had a pivotal win this week and the median to kind of keep me above float. And then at number six, we have the Dub Farmers and Casey. And at seven, falling back into that red line is consistently Ryan and Jacob. And then the shit show doing the shit show things at eighth at 7 and 17. So we had a little bit of shifting in the league stands this week. Really nothing too much else besides the Dub Farmers and consistently Ryan swapping spots. Um, and we're gonna get into our matchups here soon. But what did you kind of see this week that kind of maybe surprised you from the matchups across the league?
Yeah, I definitely think with the Infinity Stones, the four loss streak, I was very impressed with Casey Johnson or the Dub Farmers. That
Hmm.
was a huge win for him, and he put up phenomenal points. I believe it was about 175. Let me
Yep,
go.
Casey did
Yep.
put up 175.32, falling short to the top of the score of this week. Kobe having 175.56, so
Yep.
literally clipping at the toenails for highest points this week.
Correct. Yeah. And that's someone that I wanted to bring my flowers to.
Oh.
I've been listening to this podcast for weeks now. And so now I get to bring my flowers. And so that's why I'm going to give my flowers to Casey Johnson, the Dub Farmers. That was a huge win for him, especially since Alex's team is pretty stacked. He's
Hmm.
projected 163 points this week. So I'm going to give my flowers to Casey. Shit shows doing shit show things. Um, yeah, I had a loss last week again.
Hmm.
We'll get into that. And I hate losing to Brian, but it's also taken him a year to beat me.
To beat you.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I was just really impressed with Dub Farmers, man. He has a really solid team, and I really thought that he was going to be one of the top players in this league at the beginning of the year. And so, that's why I was just really impressed with Casey's last week's performance.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And giving our flowers early in the pod. So it's good to hear. And we're proud that you're a longtime listener, first time caller.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
you brought it on to yourself. And yes, we did mention it before, but you are currently on a skid that I don't think we've seen in the league in a quite a long time, maybe ever.
Yep.
I do want to go back to a couple of podcasts that Ryan and I had, and he did call you out, and that has
Yes,
literally
he did.
been your downfall. You are on a 4 game streak, and you haven't even clipped a median win in those 4 weeks. So it has been a tough month of November. What are your thoughts, and how does the clubhouse feel?
Yeah, it's definitely been tough, man. Especially within week 11, putting up 87 points. That's definitely not going to do it.
No,
And then I know you guys talked about that trade that I made for David Montgomery and I can't Lab McConkey, and I traded away Chase
Chase
Brown.
Brown.
And I do want to defend myself on that. So the reason being is, I'm not a fan of having two people that are on the same team in my starting roster. And so
Hmm.
I needed to get something to get some value for that. And so, I already have Jamar Chase and I already had Chase Brown. Yes, Chase Brown puts up a lot of points. Looking back, let's see. Let's see what Chase Brown has done in the past couple of weeks here. I believe he's been averaging still about the same amount of points. Yes, he had 18.7 points last week. So I guess, yeah, it was probably one of the worst trades of the year. I do understand, but, you know, I thought it was a good trade at the time. And, I just don't like two people being on the same team, being on my roster, especially starting them. So, that was one of the reasons I still did that, but I'm still projected 147 points this week. Like I feel like that's still not the worst trade we've ever seen. Yes, I've been on a 0-8 skid, but it's just one of those things where I've been lucky throughout the first half of the year,
Hmm.
being 15-1. That was good, but I'm still ranked third. And I my name has been thrown out in podcasts a lot, and so I I love it when you guys talk about me for sure.
Yep.
But I still think that I still have a good chance this year. It just depends on how my players play. David Montgomery, I've been trying to make some moves with him. He hasn't been averaging a lot of points recently, but and it was unfortunate last week that Jamar Chase was suspended because he spit in that player's face.
Hmm.
Um, so that was also another downfall that I had last week. But I'm still going to rock with that two tight end uh, roster,
That
man.
magic show. Yeah.
You have to. You
McBride,
have to. I
Warren.
mean, you have Tyler Warren and Trey McBride. You can't go wrong with either. I mean, they both average, and they're. I believe that they're the top two tight ends in the league right
Yeah.
now, currently. So, and I mean, there's some others like Dallas Goedert, um, people like that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate on my 8 losing streak.
Hey,
Especially not even being able to hit a median. It's crazy.
it happens, but what you know what? I don't think I've ever seen someone lose at the point you lost 3 games in a row and you still eclipsed the playoff line. So,
Right.
you're in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and that's a win within its own. So, I don't whoever say let them say what they want. You're in the playoffs, and,
Sure.
and you're fighting for the ship, and you're able to
Yep.
put yourself in a good spot early in the year, and it's all going to come down to playoffs. So that's the
Correct.
big thing. So,
Yep.
how about we get into last week's matchups?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'll start with mine, and then I'll
Cool.
have you jump to yours, and
Okay.
then I'll take MTV Gibbs shit show, and then you can do Infinity Stones and Dub Farmers. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. So this week I played consistently Ryan, also known as Jacob. This was a big matchup for both of us as we were both kind of sitting on that bottom
Yep.
echelon of the league. Now I remember last week all 3 members gave Jacob a very swift, yeah, this is Jacob's week. And I cannot be any more pleased with how my team did. Jacob mentioned how he had basically the advantage in mostly every position category. And when I go back and look at my head-to-heads, there are only two to three different positions that he beat me in. Now, granted, AJ Brown finally went off for me with
Yep.
25 points. He almost had 2 touchdowns if he would have gotten that second
Did.
foot in. Genty having a pretty solid game. He got that touchdown late, but still matters for fantasy.
Still points.
Derrick Henry having 2 touchdowns for me really helped. My only thing that kind of kicked me in the rear was I ended up putting in Sean Tucker over who I originally had in the lineup, Wilson, and Wilson ended up having a really good game for 10 for 15 with 118 yards.
Yep.
That would have completely shut the door on Jacob. Now, when we went into Monday night, he still had Brock Purdy and George Kittle. And Brock Purdy really showed up for me by throwing 3 interceptions to the Carolina defense, which was great. Kittle had himself a pretty good night with 6 catches for 78 yards. And then James Cook actually went off for him pretty well. 17 carries, 116 yards, and a TD. So
Yep.
really solid stuff. I was very grateful to get that win. And I got that median too, which almost didn't hit at the very end. But we prevail, and I keep myself above water for another week. And then on Jacob's side of the ball, he does drop down into that lower echelon into seventh in the standings. So I think, I mean, after Josh Allen's performance on Thursday night, I did get very worried. Obviously,
10 points.
when Josh Allen the week before puts up like 45, and then the week after he puts up 10, you get kind of worried. So I was definitely like, fuck, man, here we go
Yeah.
again. Like, here's this week. But cooler heads prevail, and I digress. So, Keegan,
Yeah.
why don't we jump into your matchup with the
Sure.
Beanpoles?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, unfortunate week for me, obviously. I hate losing against Ryan, but Jalen Hurts goes off for 30 points. That's huge, huge game for him. He had DeAndre Swift that had 1.9 points.
Yep.
That's a very unfortunate place right there. And then Saquon having 12. Other than that, I mean, George Pickens, he really went off this past week. And we
Pickens is
haven't
the
seen
new number one in Dallas, man.
which is crazy.
fire.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb hasn't seen anything from Dak Prescott, and with George Pickens, having this big time game, that's really going to push a value for George Pickens. So we'll see what Ryan does in the next couple of weeks to see if he can get some extra value. Nico Collins isn't doing it. Brock Bowers isn't doing it for him. T. Higgins is out this next Thursday, but Joe Burrow is back this next Thursday. So we'll see how that plays throughout the rest of the year. His kicker had 16 points. Mine had 13. My Ravens defense had 12 points. It was just an unfortunate week for me. There was really nothing I could have really done to beat Ryan that week or last week. So, I did everything I could. Jamar Chase being out, I feel like I definitely would have won. I lost by 10 points. But I mean, not really much I can do. DK Metcalf had one of his best games of the year, 14.4 points. Tyler Warren only had 9, which is very surprising to me. But, the Colts did lose,
Yep.
which is good for the Broncos, obviously, the best team in the league right here. Yeah, you know it. But yeah, no, I mean, there's really not much I could have done. I mean, David Montgomery's not doing it for me. And then with Jamar Chase out, I mean, that was just unfortunate. But Kareem Hunt did have a good week with 20 points.
Yes.
Which is very impressive. I mean, Pacheco is coming back this next coming week, so I actually did drop Kareem
I do
Hunt.
see he's no longer on your roster.
Yes, I did drop him this morning, which was a mistake. I did not mean to.
Dude, you're so good at dropping players that you don't mean to or that you don't do on purpose. You do that
I
the time.
I know. So hopefully I pick him up on Friday on the waiver wire. So we'll see. But I did drop Kareem Hunt, but let's see what my transactions are. What did I do?
Well, right now
so
you're fifth on the
claim.
waiver wire, so who knows if you'll get him.
Yeah, I have to wait until Friday, but I did drop Devin Singletary to try to pick back up Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Just as a backup because Josh Jacobs should be back this next week, but it still makes me scared. So we'll see. I mean, he's playing on Thanksgiving tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. He is planning to play.
Yep, I did see that. They do plan to start him. So
yeah, he was limited in practice, but apparently a knee injury. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm playing you this upcoming week,
and we will get into that here after this segment. So,
yes,
but no, you didn't leave a lot on the bench by any means. Shout out to David Montgomery. He did get you 6.7 points. So, praise God. All good stuff. Metcalf having a solid game for you, but when Ryan having Jalen Hurts and taking a touchdown from my AJ Brown in the tush push, it gets really, really tough. And then even I saw when Ryan had Swift at 1.9, I was like, there's no way he can come, like there's no way he can like win this week. And then George Pickens just being an absolute devil in
Yep.
Dallas. Now for CD Lamb, he has been getting looks, but he drops the ball like
That's true. I
it's a
forgot
Black
he had
Friday
like
sale.
three drop passes.
He had one even in the end zone. But it worked out
Oh,
for me because Jacob had CD and he didn't do well. So
thank
that works great. And it's always a good day when your kicker can get you double digit points. Yours did
absolutely.
as well, but
Yep.
that's how it shakes out. So moving on to MTV Gibbs versus the shit show. Excuse me, Kobe just having, I mean, another
Another
standout
week.
week. Jameer Gibbs, 55 and a half. I have Jameer Gibbs in another league. So that was awesome to see. JSN, 37. JSN has already set the Seahawks franchise record for catch or for yards, and it's only week 11.
Yeah, which is
He is
crazy.
going to go off. I think this is be one of the best receiver statistical seasons that someone can have will be
It's
from
crazy.
JSN
It's crazy.
this year. Jonathan Taylor did have a quiet day, only
He
at
did.
8.6 points, 16 carries for 58 yards. But that doesn't matter when your RB1 and your wide receiver one can get you close to 85
Yeah.
points. So that was
And
great.
with Gibbs having 55 points is unreal.
Wild. That has to be a top mark for a fantasy number ever. I'd imagine
Definitely is.
it's probably up there.
The only number I can really remember is Jamar Chase from a couple years ago.
Mhm.
I believe he pretty much tied that same record at
Okay.
55.4.
Yeah. Now this is getting really old, but Chiefs running back 2013 Jamal Charles had six rushing
Jamal
touchdowns.
Charles, great name.
Yes, and he speaks very good English. I recommend looking up a YouTube video of him making a draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has some of the best English dialect that I think I've ever heard. But besides the point, when we look at Sage's side of the ball, Devontae Adams, 2 touchdowns, 5 for 8 for 62 yards. Hunter Henry having a really good game with 7 catches, 115 yards, and a
Yeah,
TD. Now he the only one this week to go with a zero was Jay Welly. With he was 0 for 3 with 0 catches. He
yeah.
was projected about 14 points. That is a
Huh.
kick in the shins.
Yes, it
But
is.
the Browns defense did step up for him very well, getting double what they were projected at 18.
Yeah,
Um, but other than that, he really didn't have anything that stood out very well. Chase Brown having a good day at 15. Drake May doing Drake May things. So Kobe keeps climbing the corporate ladder of fantasy
yeah,
football. He had a projected score of 156, killed it at 175, and was our top scorer of the week.
yeah.
Um, Kobe's team is
Welcome
a
to number
battering
one.
ram. Yep,
Welcome to number one. It's
yep.
about time.
So, why don't you wrap it up with the Infinity Stones and Dub Farmers?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, surprising win from Casey. That's why I gave him my flowers because outstanding week. I mean, Matt Stafford, 22 points, McCaffrey, 27.
Yep.
Obviously, I mean, he has 7 catches for 53 yards, and this is the PPR league, so obviously. And then 24 carries for 89 yards. Incredible week by Christian McCaffrey, and a great draft pick. Obviously, I mean, I think we all went into the draft thinking like, oh, like
No one.
shit.
I didn't want to touch
I didn't
McCaffrey.
want him. No, hell no. And I had the number one pick at Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Uh, Travis Etienne, surprising week from him, 20 points. Shakir, that was a great pickup from Casey. He started him this week. He had 110 yards. He
Yep.
didn't have that fumble, but that's okay. Jawan Jennings, another great pickup from Casey as well. Kyle Pitts, I mean, he doesn't really have a tight end right now, but that's okay. Darnell Mooney, great week at 16.4 weeks, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, that touchdown did save him in that slot, so I will
Yep.
say that. And then surprisingly, Wandale Robinson, 156 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Great week from him. And I mean, on Alex's side for the Infinity Stones, I mean, Lamar Jackson didn't really have that great of a week. Only had
No.
153 receiving yard or passing yards. B. John, pretty average. I mean, he was projected 21, only scored 14. Alvin Kamara, he just dropped him,
Yep.
so only 3 points last week. Puka Nakua, I mean, he's going to do Puka things.
Puka's doing
Uh,
Puka.
17 points pretty much, and then Amon St. Raw, I mean, 30 points.
Among Us, Saint Brown,
Among us.
my former guy, having another big
That's
day.
right. That's right. And then I mean Dallas Goedert. I mean, uh, pretty below average week,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, 8 points. Rashee Rice still doing impressive things for the Chiefs. So I do appreciate Rashee Rice for sure because I do have Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
I'm here, but I do appreciate Rashee Rice's return back to football. He's obviously has done some good things in the past couple weeks. But there's really nothing he could really done to beat Casey's team this week, Dub Farmer. So just an incredible week from Casey, and career high scoring, I would say.
Yeah, when you're projected 130 and you get a 175 final score, you can only be elated. As a smart person would say. So
Yep.
that wraps up week 12. Now we move on to week 13. We are 2 weeks out from playoffs. Ivy, chill out.
Which is
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, we are 2 weeks out from playoffs, which is nuts. Um, let's save our matchup till the end so you and me can
Okay.
both just talk about it. I will start with just on my screen. I'll just go to the next one down, which for me is the Infinity Stones versus
Yep.
the Shit Show. This is a 2 versus 8 this week. Right now, Alex is projected a 69% win shot over Sage. I don't know. I'd imagine both teams have been set. I do not know. Bucky Irving doesn't have finally for one time since week 4. He doesn't have anything next to his name. I did end up trading Bucky, and it's been worked out very well for me because I have a solid running back now. I don't know if Alex will give him a shot to play. That's probably a solid spot to put him in over like a Justin Jefferson, which that quarterback situation in Minnesota is tough.
Yep.
Some standout players for Alex, obviously Bijan, Achan, Amon-Ra, Puka. I mean, you pick anyone on Alex's team, and that is a standout star. So,
Yep.
um, besides swapping Bucky out with someone, I don't know where else you would put anyone else. And then on Sage's side of the ball, it looks like his lineup is set pretty well. He did pick up Joe Burrow.
He
Joe
did.
Burrow does start tomorrow night against the Ravens. I don't know if he will be playing um, Joe Burrow instead of Drake May. But this week, some of his big guys, Amika Buka, Devontae Adams, hopefully Dowdle will get back in the end zone for
Yeah.
him. Rico Dowdle has been passed around this league, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. He's on
So
his what, third team?
I think so. I think he was
Yeah.
picked up off free agency, picked
Yeah.
up by who knows? I don't know
It
who
was
originally got
me.
him.
I had him at the start.
You got him, but then you what? You
I
traded
picked
him
him
to,
up in waiver wire, and then I traded him to Sage for
or did
Chase
you trade
Brown,
him to
or with
Jacob?
Chase Brown.
Or no, he went to Sage next.
Or I'm sorry,
I
I
thought
can't
Jacob
remember,
had
but
him at one
I
point.
believe this is his third time being on a different team.
Okay, so, but pretty obvious though.
Yep.
Now, you would think Alex like this is a big week for Alex just to take advantage of. This is a really Sage really needs this week if he wants any chance of getting out of the toilet bowl.
Yep.
It sucks being down there. I've been down there. I was down there last year. It absolutely blows. And like Jacob said last week, it adds every week a little bit of anxiety to fantasy
Yep.
football, which is not fun for anyone. But just off here, this is a David versus Goliath type of
For sure.
matchup. I have the Infinity Stones taking it easy. I'd imagine you're somewhat in the same ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, this is a big week for Sage. I mean, our standings at the toilet bowl are still pretty close.
Yeah.
But I do see Sage losing by a lot this week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sage. That's why it's called the shit show.
It happens. It happens. Why don't do you want to cover bean poles and consistently
Yeah,
Ryan?
let's do it. Yeah, I mean, currently right now, the Bean Polls, Ryan is projected at 143, and consistently Ryan is at 147. This is a huge week for Jacob.
Yep.
He definitely needs to win this week, especially just getting some advantage from not going into the toilet bowl. Um, I let's see, let's go here. So Dak Prescott, RJ Harvey, Saquon. CD Lamb. I mean, the matchups are pretty even. So we'll see how CD Lamb's week is. I mean, based off of George Pickens, they're currently going against each other. That's why I say that.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see what Dak Prescott decides to do. I mean, Chris Olave is questionable right now, so we'll see if he's able to participate in Sunday's game. Um, Other than that, I mean, I think this could be Jacob's week this week. again.
Hmm.
And, I mean, that's going to push him what is that, 6 wins in a row?
He lost to me last week.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I do remember that. Yep. Um, which is a great win for you,
Yes,
obviously.
I do believe that is a great win
Obviously.
for me. Yes.
Obviously. Yep. And no, I think this is Jacob's week this week, you know. I mean, Ryan's still, what is he on, a 4 win or yeah, 4 win streak.
Yep.
And Jacob is currently has a 2 loss streak.
Yep.
Um, but you know, I think he definitely comes back from this, and this is a huge week for Jacob. So we'll see what his team does. But I believe Jacob is going to come out with a win or two
Okay.
wins, maybe.
Yeah. Think he'll crush the median and get past Ryan.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think the what's funny is that it's funny in their lineup they have CD and Pickens like across each
Yeah.
other going at it. So that's pretty funny. But I think Pickens is going to be that outlier. I think he's going to have a
Mhm.
monster Thanksgiving Day game. And I think that's what's going to be the true difference in this week's performance. I'm giving this week to Ryan.
Okay.
So you and me are split on that behalf. So,
That's okay.
so yeah, we're split there. But I think this will be probably one of the better matchups this week,
I believe so.
just because of where these two sit. So, moving on to the last one before you and I talk about our game. We have the Dub Farmers versus MTV Gibbs. This is, Ivy Christ, hold on. Um, we have a number six versus a number one. And as we just kind of look through, Casey currently has no tight end, like you had mentioned.
He just picked
Um,
up Juwan Johnson, who's projected about 10 points. So
okay,
that
so
should project him at 130.
so we can confidently probably put him in there.
Yep.
So still doesn't leave a lot on the plate for Casey. So I would say this is pretty even with I like low key. I like the start of Jared Goff against the Green Bay defense for
I do
Thanksgiving.
too. Yep.
I think he's going to have bounce back. Goff didn't have the best game, I don't believe, this past week.
Nope.
And then of course you got JSN, you got Gibbs, you got Taylor. I mean that first three after Goff, Jonathan Taylor, Jameer Gibbs, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. That is disgusting.
Yeah. And
And
you
then
have pretty
even
much,
Jalen Waddle having another favorable matchup against the Saints. I don't want to really beat a dead horse. So right now, this is MTV Gibbs all day taking care of
for sure.
Casey, which puts him in a rough spot. Keep putting him potentially back down in that lower echelon for the
Yeah.
toilet bowl.
And especially when you have two projected MVPs. You know, you have Jonathan Taylor and Jackson Smith Najigba. You
Jigba,
know,
yep.
like how are you going to beat this team, man? I
No.
mean, I think Kobe's one of the best in the leagues, man. And you know, you got Gibbs. I mean, he has the Jared Goff and Gibbs combo,
Hmm.
which I mean, it can go good or bad depending on how they play.
Yep.
But I mean, Gibbs is going to be Gibbs, right? You know, I don't really see a problem with starting Jared Goff. He most likely will have a comeback week this week, or I guess tomorrow, and then McMillan, Territora, McMillan,
Tedderellin.
Tettarella,
Tedderellin McMillan.
Territoria. That's what it looks
Tuberculosis.
like. But he's been unbelievable, man. I actually didn't know he was 6'5", so that's impressive. But yeah, I mean, I don't see. I mean, the only hole that I really see in Kobe's team is the tight end spot. But I mean, Dalton Schultz has been having some good weeks himself, and you know, well, he had 1 point last week, but realistically, I mean, he's been having a good run this year.
Yeah.
But you know, and then having Javante in your slot, Javante
Yep.
Williams, you know, like you can't go wrong with this team. Definitely see Kobe blasting points out of the water this upcoming week against Casey, which is a big week for Casey. Obviously, I mean he's number 6 in the league, but I think he does drop down to the toilet bowl, and Jacob comes up top.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yep.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Gibbs, MTV Gibbs all day. Sorry,
Yep.
Casey. Love you. Actually, then shout out to Casey. I know you gave him his flowers earlier. He proved everyone wrong last week. So,
Yes, he did.
that's great for him. And then the last matchup of the week, Jank Botigo, Heart Didi. It's not love, it's Heart Didi, versus the Gum Munchers. Right now, I come into this writing a hotter hand, beating Jacob and getting the median and kind of putting me in a little bit more of a cushion. And Keegan, you come into this still on that stellar four-game losing streak. So I am curious to see how that will truly pan out. Right now, our current projections is after my swap of defenses earlier today when I was at work. I'm slotted at 149. You were slotted at 147. Um, Technically, I am a 51% to a 49. I don't know if you have any much swapping around to do. By the looks of your bench, I really don't know. I feel like this is my lineup. I can't trust Jordan Addison. I feel like he puts me on the fucking live wire every time I play him. Because he either gets absolutely nothing or he wakes up in the final series and gets a catch and then a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, looking across, I mean, this is a pretty. I don't know. I think this is the most even matchup this
Yeah.
week, obviously, with all the projections out there. But I mean, we got Allen Mahomes, Henry Jacobs, Genty Montgomery, and then I think you beat me when it comes to wide receivers. And then, of course, you have that 1-2 punch in tight ends with McBride and Warren. I have Kelsey, and then I have Brees Hall. Hopefully, he'll have a better week this week against
Yeah.
Atlanta. And then hopefully, this is where usually it tends to bite people after you play a waiver wire guy the week after you picked him up. I.e., I started Sean Tucker this past week, got 5 points. The week before, he had like 33. Michael Wilson had like 20 points this past week. He'll probably get like three catches and a fumble.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I think, me personally, I think I need this win more than you do, and I have more faith in my team. So I think we carry the hot frying pan, and like the old saying goes, not all heroes wear capes. And I believe I take this matchup. I don't think I get the median, but I do think I take the win. I
Okay.
would like to hear your opinion on the matter.
Sure. I mean, since Joe Burrow's back,
Yup.
he is playing tomorrow.
Yup.
That's going to be a huge change for Jamar Chase. He hasn't had one of the best years. So I'm interested to see on how tomorrow goes.
And he's going to be
Um,
fresh. He just had a game
he is.
off because
Yeah,
he
I
was
know.
so
Seriously. Yeah.
nice. He was so nice to that one guy
Yeah.
that the NFL gave him a day off. So now
Yeah.
he's fresh. He's got fresh legs for
He,
this.
he does. He does. And then did you see that Colorado State University quarterback? He spit on a guy last week.
Oh
He got
yes,
suspended for his last game.
I did see that.
We're gonna stop spitting, more swallowing. But I do believe that I'm going to hit the median. But I do believe that I am going to lose this week against you.
Okay.
My team has not proven the past 4 weeks. I definitely need to make some moves before the trade deadline hits. I really need to get rid of David Montgomery because he is just not cutting it for me. But I am waiting for Amari Hampton to come back, which I believe he's
He
coming back
did get
soon.
cleared off of IR. He does still have the IR tag next to him at this very
Yeah,
moment.
correct.
But until that dissipates, I don't think any one of us are going to get on you. He does have a
Yeah,
projected line against his
as well.
against next to his name, but that'll be for when that time comes.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much what I've been waiting for. I mean, that's pretty much where my success came from earlier this year. Amari Hampton had a lot of points early on. So once he gets back, I feel like that's going to be a huge thing for my team. I mean, Trey McBride, he's going to be doing Trey McBride things. Devontae Smith had a slower week last week, but I mean, with the Tyler Warren Trey McBride combo, I do love it. And then McConkey was just on a bye.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, it's pretty much 50-50 right now
Hmm.
for our matchup, but I do believe that you're going to come out with a win, and most of my team is going to most likely shit the bed like they have. So
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that vote of confidence. I do feel it through the screen. And I believe now I'm not a scientist by any means, but I believe if I were to win and potentially get the median, I think that gets me a playoff berth. I don't know. I don't know when it comes down to all the statistics. Maybe you're better at that than I am. Only if Ryan was on, Ryan would be able to tell
he
me
would know.
everything. Ryan, we hope you're enjoying yourself. We hope you get to watch this when you can. But I don't know. So this is I would like to capitalize this week to just give me the sigh of relief and giving myself a. I think this will be my if I do make it, and I don't want to jinx myself. I think this might be my first playoff berth in this league.
Is
Truthfully,
it really?
the first year. I believe I was in the toilet bowl.
Yes, you were.
And we weren't too harsh, and so I
Oh,
kind of got away with some things. My dog is currently pulling out my entire hamper and dragging it into the living room. So far, sorry if I'm distracted. And
okay.
then last year, I beat Casey in the toilet bowl,
That's right.
literally on the last game. So
Yeah, I believe looking at it, you should clinch a playoff berth with this win.
with a win.
If so, if you hit the median, it would make you 13 and 13. If you
Okay,
don't, it's going to be 12 and 13 or
okay,
14. Sorry,
yeah.
but that should clinch you, unless the Dub Farmers and Jacob. Well, you
I'd
should
say
be fine.
Casey would need a really good game with a high score to with when it comes to
You
point
get one,
differential. But
right?
um no, so we're looking forward to another great week of fantasy football. We're looking forward to a great Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Day Eve. What are your plans for the holiday tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty much. We're just having a bunch of family over. I have my little niece and nephew that's coming over, and one of my older sisters, I guess, is
Yep.
coming over. So, yeah, just making some meatloaf, some ham. We don't even have turkey.
Not a
My
turkey
family doesn't
family.
do that, yeah, but we have mashed potatoes, stuffing, and what my family likes to do, we like to make our green chili,
Okay.
our Hispanic green chili, my Nana's recipe,
Hmm.
and we pretty much put that over every single topic or every single thing we have on our platter. So
Hmm.
just gonna eat some good food, watch some football, have a couple drinks, and just enjoy our day, man. How about you?
I am going to be hanging out with the future in-laws like normal. With me being out here in South Dakota, and of course me being from back home in Colorado. Of course, I have no family in the area, but we still have a good time. My fiance's dad and little sister are die-hard Cowboy fans, so every Thanksgiving, I know it sucks.
I don't feel
Uh,
bad. I mean, it's the
it's
Cowboys.
actually funny enough this year, they are taking me, Haley, and the entire family out to Dallas for the Vikings Cowboys Sunday night game.
Nice.
So I'll get to go to that. So I guess there's some good in being having people with Cowboys
Yeah.
fans. But every Thanksgiving's always fun with them because they have someone to watch and cheer for. And then we're just gonna hang out. So it's gonna be a pretty
Nice.
typical Thanksgiving. I do work retail, so I got to get ready for the Black Friday shift the next
Ooh,
day. But we're just keeping it low key.
there
So
you go. Nice. And how
wait,
about that? How about them Cowboys? How about
I
that win
know,
last Sunday, man?
I know.
21-point comeback, beat the Eagles.
Yup,
Crazy, crazy.
big stuff.
And I mean, if we want to go into the Broncos, I'm a big Broncos guy. So, I
We
mean,
can
we
dip into them for a second. I know we're getting close on time, but we can dip into them for a second.
I would say, I mean, we beat some of the top contenders in the league, the Eagles,
Mhm.
the Cowboys, and then we have a big Sunday night matchup on Sunday night against the
Mhm.
Commanders. Marcus Mariota will be starting, so Jaden Daniels is not playing. I do see the Broncos winning, of
I do
course.
too.
So I mean, what a hell of a year from the Broncos, and I went to the Broncos game against the Giants, and you know I've been to plenty of Broncos games in my past, and I'm telling you. I cannot believe that comeback that we had against the Giants. And currently, my girlfriend is a huge Giants fan, so it
I
was
remember you
pretty fun
saying
just to
that.
watch. It was pretty funny just to watch her reaction for the first three quarters. You know, she's cheering, she's going off about the Giants, and then I mean, I'm sitting there just all pissed off, and then we score 33 points. So, what a great experience to see! And you know, the Broncos are just unreal, and the Vikings suck. So.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for the Vikings. But we'll see what comes of that. But we're about out of time. But Keegan, I appreciate you coming on this week. We'll definitely have to get you on, whether if it's later this year into playoffs or if we start you off fresh next season. But thank you for coming on and thank you for joining me this week. And to all of our league mates, happy Thanksgiving, happy Week 13 of the NFL season, and we'll catch you on the other side. How about that?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, we'll see you, boys.
Later, boys.